As shown in the screen, this is our poster related to the word stress. Amy Cookies and Food Enterprise is a sole proprietorship business owned by Puan Samiha binti Muhammad Ilham. Amy Cookies is a food product suppliers and located at Shah Alam, Selangor. Amy Cookies were founded in 1997 as a small business that is for festival and exposites. When Amy Cookies began to grow, they started marketing their product in stores and some of the customers come from abroad. Amy Cookies will successfully produce more than 70 types of products and become a wholesaler of biscuit and cookies raya. The main problem that currently arises in Amy Cookies factory is word stress. Stress is responding to pressure from our bodies. Many scenarios or life experience may be stressful. It always causes something different, unpredictable, or feels like we have no control of situation. Stress is different matter for each of us, and how we cope depends on our genetics and early childhood. There will be a lot of stress, such as family problems, loss of work, or sudden cash issue. Work-related stress can affect our emotional health because we will feel worried, exhausted, or overwhelmed with longer hours and strict deadlines. Job-related stress may people lose 24 days of work on average as a result of ill health. And if the depression suppresses our ability to cope, it chooses to be valid and damage our mind and body and work.
Next, we will discuss about the factor causes word stress in Amy Cookies factory. Thus, demand one of the factors that causes word stress in the Amy Cookies factory. The factory owned by Amy Cookies has fewer employees compared to the quantity of raya biscuit produced at one time. Every employee must adapt to the ever-changing work environment due to the multitasking performed. As a result, employees are unable to focus on their respective tasks. For example, employees in the production department also must handle the packaging department. Next, economic problems are also one of the personal factors that causes word stress in Amy Cookies factory. During this pandemic COVID-19, the companies like Amy Cookies trying to minimize costs as much as possible so that they use the work rotation system and lead the income of their employees to decrease. This causes the worker to not able afford monthly utilities such as payment of telephone bill and so on. This situation also can be referred to underpaid salary, which affects one's purchasing power. Another factor that causes word stress in the Amy Cookies factory is long time working hours. In Amy Cookies, sometimes the employees need to do work overtime because they need to pack all the cookies that have been baked. This matter happen because in Amy Cookies factory, they have a target on how much they need to produce cookies in one day. Because of that, they need to work overtime to ensure that they achieve the target, even though they need to sacrifice their own time to be with their family. Lastly, family problems are another factor that causes a stress to Amy Cookies factory employee. Some of the employee is getting pressure from their family that may cause unstable mind and they causing stress to this happen. This problem increase their stress level of and influence their performance, especially during work at Amy Cookies factory.
Based on research done on clients, one of the effects is lower job satisfaction. Job satisfaction or employee satisfaction is a measure of workers' contentness with their job. Employees at the Amy Cookies factory were found to have unsatisfactory job satisfaction and to be at a relatively low level. This is because employees are not able to produce quality output and pursue the targets set by the managers. In a nutshell, lower job satisfaction is an effect of work stress that occurs at the Amy Cookies factory that affects production operations. Secondly, based on the factor of economic problems, the consequence that might affect employees is anxiety. Anxiety is a body's natural response to stress. It's a feeling of fear or apprehension about what's to come. Employees might experience anxiety because of afraid can't afford to pay his or her monthly bills or can't fulfill their dependents' basic needs. Based on the statistic that has been recorded, most of the suicidal cases is because of financial problems. Therefore, this shows that most employees can't bear the reduction in salary as they are already underpaid and it will cause them to have a poor work performance, which will cause companies to have a bad image. Third, one of the consequences of working long hours is poor work-life balance. Work-life balance can be defined as a state of balance in which one prioritizes both the demands of one's career and the demands of one's personal life. In the case of Amy Cookies Factory, they do not have good work-life balance as the employees need to work for long hours. It will cause the employees to return home late and no time to spend with their family. Work-life balance matters to many people. Employees who overwork and commit more hours at the expense of their personal hours will see a decrease in overall happiness or satisfaction at work. Lastly, illness is one of the consequences faced by Amy Cookies Factory's employees. They are facing a long-term health effects such as heart attack, high blood pressure, and increasing heart rate. Research has shown that cortisol levels are highest when high stress is combined with inflexible working arrangements, and these increases in cortisol are most prominent when stress lasts for long periods of time. Based on the interview, there is one employee that suffered from high blood pressure. We asked him if this happened before he started work here, but he said he suffered with this health problem after he started to work here. So it means stress can cause someone to suffer from health problems that will affect their own life. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
The first step is management can do a redesigning job, which is they rearrange the task for each employee based on their skill and ability. So it can avoid workload because employee only can do a job based on their capability. So it can increase their job satisfaction and decrease their stress during the work time. The second one is management can start or create a new program called Employees Assistance Program, EAP. EAP is focused on counseling and consultancy to employees that have a low motivation and facing a problem during a work time. So, by doing a counseling and give an advice to the employees, it can increase their motivation and decrease their stress. The third one is physical exercise. Management can start a new habit to the employee, which is doing a regular exercise 30 minutes yearly every morning before enter the work. So it can increase their focus and concentration. Based on the research made, it has been proven that when we start a regular exercise early every morning, it can increase our focus and concentration during the work time. Some of the employees said when they start a regular exercise early every morning and before into the work, their performance during the work time is increased, and also their focus also sharp, and they can do their job very well. So I think physical exercise is one of the recommendation about how to overcome a work stress and increase their performance.
To simplify all of the factors and consequences that happen in Amy Cookies Factory, so here is the framework. There are several factors and consequences that cause work stress in Amy Cookies. First is task demand that will cause lower job satisfaction. Second is economic problems that will cause anxiety to individuals. Third is long working hours that will cause poor work-life balance. And last but not least is family problems that will cause illness. As the conclusion, stress itself refers to the negative impact on our body and mental health. Besides, work stress can lead the employee to feel unmotivated to come work. The management of the factory needs to do some programs such as physical exercise or do a counseling and consulting session. This way can make sure the employees in Amy Cookies will be in a healthy state of mind physically and mentally. Thus, it will improve productivity of the factory. So that's all from our group. Thank you for listening.